You signed up for AWS free tier, spun up a few services, and then got a bill for $47. That happens to thousands of developers every month. Here's exactly why, and how to make sure it doesn't happen to you. AWS free tier is Amazon's way of letting you use real cloud infrastructure without paying, up to a point. There are actual limits, and once you cross them, billing starts automatically. No warning, no confirmation, just a charge. Think of it like a prepaid phone plan. You get a fixed amount of calls, texts, and data each month. Use within that, it's free. Go over by one call, and the overage fees kick in immediately. AWS free tier works the same way, except the data is compute time, storage, and API requests, and the overage can sneak up on you fast. Most people encounter AWS free tier in one of three situations. They're learning cloud computing for the first time, they're building a side project, or they're prototyping something at work before committing to production infrastructure. In all three cases, the assumption is the same. It's free, so I'll just experiment. That assumption is mostly true until it isn't. The moment that bites teams hardest is when a demo environment gets left running over a weekend. An EC2 instance, that's a virtual server in Amazon's cloud, kept running for 60 hours past the free monthly limit. Nobody noticed until the Monday billing alert. That's a real pattern, not an edge case. Understanding exactly what the free tier covers means you can experiment confidently without watching your account like a hawk. AWS free tier actually has three distinct categories, and mixing them up is where most confusion starts. The first is always free. These services never expire and are free up to a fixed limit for any AWS account, forever. AWS Lambda, their serverless compute service, meaning code that runs on demand without a dedicated server, gives you 1 million free requests per month and 3.2 million seconds of compute time. That's a genuinely generous limit for most hobby projects. The second category is 12 months free. These start from the day you create your AWS account and expire exactly 1 year later. This is where EC2 and S3 live. EC2 gives you 750 hours per month of a T2 micro or T3 micro instance, which is a small virtual machine. That's roughly one instance running continuously all month. S3, Amazon's object storage service, gives you 5 gigabytes of standard storage, 20,000 GET requests, and 2,000 PUT requests per month. The third category is short-term trials. These are one-time offers, usually 30 to 90 days, tied to specific services like Amazon Redshift or RDS, which are database services. Here's what actually triggers unexpected bills. Running 2 T2 micro instances instead of 1, you've doubled your EC2 hours. 1 instance's worth gets charged at normal rates. Storing 6 gigabytes in S3 instead of 5, that extra gigabyte is billed. Switching AWS regions, meaning a different geographic data center location, resets nothing, but the free tier limits are shared across your entire account, not per region. And if this is the kind of thing you want to actually understand rather than just memorize, Stack Future covers one concept like this every day. Data transfer costs are their own category entirely. Transferring data into AWS is almost always free. Transferring data out, say serving files from S3 to users, is free up to 100 gigabytes per month in the first 12 months, then billed per gigabyte after that. Say you're building a portfolio site, you host your static files in S3 and put a small Node.js API on a T2.micro EC2 instance. Clean, simple, should be free. 3 months in, you add a second EC2 instance for testing. Totally reasonable until you realize your free tier only covers 750 combined hours across all T2 micro instances in a month. A month has roughly 720 hours. 2 instances running simultaneously burns through that in about 15 days. The second half of the month, both instances are billing at on-demand rates, around 0.0116 per hour for a T2.micro in US East. That's approximately $8 to $10 in unexpected charges. The fix is straightforward. Use the AWS billing dashboard, navigate to free tier usage under the cost management section, and set up a free tier usage alert. AWS will email you when you hit 85% of any free tier limit. That one setting would have caught it. AWS free tier is genuinely free, within specific monthly limits that vary by service and expire differently depending on the category. The bill doesn't come from using AWS. It comes from not knowing exactly where the boundaries are. If this helped you actually understand how AWS billing works rather than just fear it, hit the like button. It helps more people find this before they get that surprise invoice. Next up, at message queues, how distributed systems handle work without falling apart, and why your app needs one before it gets popular.